Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of my Journal 3 analysis. I'll be going over the whole journal page by page, so if you want to know all the secrets, mysteries, and codes of the journal, then just watch this video and continue with this series. But before I start the video, I want to tell you guys that I do have a second YouTube channel. It's called Vailskibum Stories. It has a few thousand subs, and it's all about me telling life stories. They're just interesting and funny and relaxing stories to listen to, and go subscribe there if you want to see more of my content. I'm gonna upload like probably weekly, I would say, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that channel. But now that I got that out of the way, let's start with the video. Alright, so I have a slideshow of every page in the journal, so I'll be clicking through the pages. As you see, there are these arrows at the top and play. It's like a slideshow thing, and I'll be going over everything on the pages. But for now, we start off with Forest Oddities, Mothman, Beard Cubs, Portal Potty, and all this stuff. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there aren't really secrets on these pages because these are just like the things that show Ford's character and they show what Ford is interested in. So on these pages, it's really worth reading, but don't expect to find many secrets here because they're just the oddities of Gravity Falls. So let's go to the second page and we'll see if there's any more there. So Scampfire, Killbilly, Soothskeeto, Steve. Now, I don't want to talk about all of these because they're just like random things, but I do want to talk about Steve. Now, this was actually seen in Gravity Falls. If you remember, in A Tale of Two Stands, there is a hand shaped like a tree and it grabs the car, and that's never explained. We can assume that it's just some random weird thing in Gravity Falls, but the fact that we actually know who it is now, it's Steve, that's really cool. It gives us more background, and that's what the journal does. It basically gives more context of the show, and if you go and rewatch Gravity Falls, then you will probably know a lot more because you read this journal. And that's really interesting because there's a lot more character development, and that's why I really like the pages. So let's go to the next page. The Invisible Wizard. Now, this actually did appear in the show as well, kind of. It was a joke in Little Dipper, the season 1 episode, and Mabel was saying how there was an invisible wizard in the closet and that Dipper was hiding him there and that he didn't want her to find out. So yeah, the Invisible Wizard was there. The Invisible Wizard does exist, and that's really cool because it shows that season 1 does have its place in Gravity Falls, and season 1 is still important even though season 2 was way more significant. But this provides a lot more context and a lot more development because now if you go and rewatch that episode, you'll know all about the actual Invisible Wizard, and you'll know the details and that he actually was there even though it was just a joke in the episode. And the Abominable Bro-Man, now that was a really funny one, but there's no secrets. Bar Fairies are also funny, and again, this isn't really secretive, this is just showing things that Ford saw in his life. Alright, so let's go to the next page. Leprechaun. Now, this was seen in Gravity Falls, but you couldn't read everything because it's one of those pages that you just can't see everything. Now, there are 2 codes on these pages. Now, the first code on the left page at the bottom is Watch Out. And the code on the right page, towards the middle, like right below the actual leprechaun, that is Kill Me Please. And that's surprising because this is a Disney TV show. You're just looking at this leprechaun, and this leprechaun wants to die. Like, that's pretty dark, especially for a Disney show. Kill me please. Alright, now these pages are funny to read, but again, there's no secrets, so I'm gonna keep moving. Stomach Face Duck, and these are also pretty funny things. Question Quail, Cowl, Hawktopus, Woodpecker, Pecker. These are the types of animals that have a lot of puns, and they're combinations of 2 animals. And this is something that we've seen in Journal 3 so much because Ford liked making puns, and even Grunkle Stan, he made puns in the Mystery Shack, and he probably got that from his brother. We can see puns in the Mystery Shack like Sasquatch, and there's so many things, and this is just giving us a lot of information about all that. And Stomach Face Duck, now that's pretty wacky. Alright, so let's go to the next page. The Bottomless Pit. This was obviously seen in the show. It was a full episode, and even though the stories told weren't really completely canon, even though the last one was, I think, but even though they told those stories, the actual pit is there. It's actually in Gravity Falls, and it is completely canon. And he tried to solve the mystery of the bottomless pit. And if you see on the model, that's actually how it probably works. All we know from the episode is that if you go in, there was a possible chance that you would go back out, as Dipper, Mabel, Stan, and Soos did, but that wasn't really confirmed, and we see a model, and that's how it probably works. And that's interesting because Ford researched this bottomless pit and he tried to figure out the mysteries of it. Now, if you'll notice, on the bottom of the 2 pages, there are these weird symbols, and these symbols actually spell out a code. Some of this junk ended up in my dimension. Now, that's just a joke because Ford went through a bunch of different dimensions through the portal, and he just found all this stuff from the bottomless pit. So there's not really much to that, but it gives us more context because it shows what was happening in the portal for those 30 years. But yeah, that's just an interesting fact to know about Ford. Alright, so that's the end of this Journal 3 analysis part. Be sure to keep watching the future videos if you want to see more secrets, codes, and mysteries of Journal 3. And for those wondering, I'll do Keep Gravity Falls alive soon because some people have been asking me for the next part. And I will also be doing more Journal 3 analysis videos very soon, so stay subscribed. And if you liked the video, be sure to comment below, give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.